Good morning to all of you. I hope I am audible. Fair enough. What a wonderful opportunity to spend the pre-lunch hours on a Sunday morning into lunch with a delightful panel and young people in the audience. I thank the organizers, MentorYes, for making it possible. I'm sure there are more sessions to follow, not only today, but subsequently, where the young people will be helped to find their right mentors. Is that the main focus of your group? Thanks to Mr. Rajiv Chandran for the kind introduction of the panelists, including myself. He did it in his usual style. To begin with, I must myself dwell for a few minutes on the co-panelists who are with me on the stage. Let me start with Dr. P. Hemalata Reddy on my right. She heads as the principal Sri Venkateshwara College in Dhaulakua, right? A college which stands for excellence now. I can testify this. College which was located, this is not a focus on the college, this is focus on the individual as a panelist. The college started in Rouse Avenue as a small school building. I have seen it. Subsequent principals contributed to the growth of this college in South Delhi, which now commands attention in a range of subjects, conventional and more modern. For example, the life sciences into biotechnology, where it's become a major hub. The indicators are not necessarily the rankings given by the major publishers, including India Today and so on, but the real indicators are young people. I'm focusing on the young people. So I'm pausing. Not necessarily, nothing against the parents, but not necessarily are the parents as well informed as the young people. Sri Venkateshwara College is today referred to as the St. Stephen's College of South Delhi. It doesn't need the first part. For that matter, it stands on its own. This is what the students tell me. She herself combines not only administration, teaching, administration, but a considerable amount of interest. Time spent by Dr. Hemalata Reddy is on research, especially in biotechnology. Have I said something wrong, madam? Yeah, please. To my left is Dr. S.K. Garg, whom I have known as a junior for many, many years. He's a student of chemistry. As was pointed out, he has taught both undergraduate and postgraduate classes in chemistry at Delhi University. He has run a major college of Delhi University for many years as the principal. But what distinguishes for me Dr. S.K. Garg is that, and you will see this shortly, that what I'm going to say is true, will be exemplified during this session. He is meticulous with details. Now, details about colleges, number of seats, timetables, what are the structural changes that have hit Delhi University in recent years, and there have been too many changes for one to keep track of. Semester system, right? 3-year, different first year, second year, third year examinations. At one time we had examinations at the end of second year and third year. Now I think in recent past the changes have been so many, which I'm sure he will touch upon briefly during his presentation. But you will notice when he speaks with authority on matters of details regarding colleges, course structures, number of seats, and the possibilities. But he doesn't merely get struck with details. He is able to overcome them and have an overview about education as a whole. Dr. Sanjay Kumar, who is right in front of me, is to be labelled as a Dean of Academics in Stephen's College, as a lecturer in physics, with a degree from Purdue. But you must remember, what was mentioned, he is interested in philosophy. I thought philosophy was supposed to be a dry subject. Very much sought after by young people. But he was telling me as we enter in this hall today that he has just returned from a long, long trek in the hills, I presume. And so the body is giving all kinds of signs and sounds and creaks because of the long trek that he has undertaken. Now this is interesting. We are talking about mentoring. We are talking in the season of admissions to Delhi University colleges. I should remain focused on that, it should appear. But I think life is much more than just one target, admissions and so on. Life is much, much broader. Dr. Geeta Venkatraman, who now comes from the other university, had a touch with St. Stephen's as a student, subsequently as a faculty. She represents mathematics. Dr. Sanjay Kumar, I said, represents physics. But she too has administrative duties. Can you escape it? I thought when we all joined academics, my late father told me, hey, you started collecting files. You are not a government servant that you have to collect files at home. Don't be administrative, be academic. So I think it's important. Geeta represents, and she will demonstrate in this session, her keen interest for her chosen subject, mathematics. Though, as life goes along, when you become dean and so on, you have to look after many other duties. Can you lose track of your main interest? Yesterday I was with the chief of Kendriya Vidyalayas, and Geeta Venkatraman will be very happy and they'll be proud to own her. This one experiment of Central Schools, Kendriya Vidyalaya, from which she also came, Andrewsganj, if I am right, is a great experiment. They said 1,25,000 students appear for 12th class examinations all over India through the Kendriya Vidyalayas. Can you believe what is their pass percentage? I was told yesterday, 96% pass percentage. The administrations of these schools is very tight from the center, but the experiment is a great success. In recent years, I've heard of the Navodaya schools, which are located in more remote areas and are residential in nature. This too is a great success story. The 96% pass percentage from central schools is to be paralleled with the figure I was given yesterday, I hope I'm right, 82% from private schools. So a centrally run program like the central schools, exemplified by my co-panelist Geeta Venkatraman, is a product of one such school, is indeed a great success. So, I don't know, maybe the answer lies somewhere in between a public-private enterprise, maybe what may be the need of the hour. There must be money, I understand. A lot of foreign universities are interested in India. I used to be closely connected with the German Academic Exchange Service in Delhi, being a former fellow of the Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst, DAAD. About 10-15 years ago, they used to tell us, can we not have a small pie from the large number of students, Indian students who are going to USA? How can we attract students to Germany? I understand from my personal observations over the years that a large number of Indian students go preferably first choice to USA, second choice UK in smaller numbers, Germany because it's now offering lots of scholarships, money, research opportunities. Australia has been a destination for some. Yes, Canada in some limited manner. France, slightly thwarted by the language. Indians are very good in learning foreign languages very quickly, but there are opportunities. This much in terms of my co-panelists. Maybe I spent a little too much time on them, but you will see every word that I have said about them will turn out to be true. Let me begin my small presentation, which I haven't just jotted down when I came in. Is there life? And I think yes. Is there life? I'm not asking about life on Mars or Jupiter. Is there life beyond the IITs and the PMTs? I'm sure there is. Is there life beyond the IITs, JEE, PMTs? My success lies in the fact that I met for nearly half a century young students who came with very long faces. Sir, I am no good. I got admission to the best college of the country, the best department in the country, but sir, I am no good. How much percentage you have? So 96%. Except a handful who come with their head held high. I am interested in the subject. I am very keen on it. And I am saying this from my experience at one of the best known colleges in the country. Why were they little jaded? Sir, IIT nahi hua. I wrote, how much Hindi should I speak? कितने लोग यहाँ हैं जो कि मैं चाहते हैं कि मैं हिंदी में कुछ बोलूं या अंग्रेजी में ही बोलूं? नहीं, I must ask the young people in the audience. Because अंग्रेजी तो बोलना बहुत अच्छा है. But you must understand what we are saying. Be free, be frank. Okay, there you are. I think there is life beyond IIT and PMT. My success lies in the fact that for 6 months in the first year, I would talk to these young people, talk them out of the depression that they are facing about not having made it to the IIT, not having made it to the, say, PMT or medical exams and so on. There is a beautiful article sent to me yesterday by email. Anybody who wants it, I will mail it to you. I'll give it to the organizers. Professor T.V. Ramakrishnan, Fellow of the Royal Society, London, FRS, Professor of Physics, retired from the Banaras Hindu University, son-in-law of the great Professor B.K.R.V. Rao, who was once Minister of Education, the Government of India, writes in Current Science in an editorial, there is a certain amount of, shall we say, I don't know, it's a slightly old-fashioned phrase, caste system in Indian education. Caste system in Indian science. What does he mean? Many of you or the younger people in the audience are thinking about किस कॉलेज में एडमिशन लेना है. नहीं, वो चर्चा का विषय नहीं है. इतना दीपक ने और शरण्या ने बताया. चर्चा का विषय है क्या हम आगे करें, कौन सी पढ़ाई करें, किन से मिले जो हमको रास्ता दिखाएंगे. One student came to me, I said, teachers? What are teachers? They are road signs here. Once you see the road sign and cover the road, do you remember the road signs? The teacher said, no. That boy said to me, Sir, Nene, that's very unkind on yourself. Teachers are very important people. Mentors. देखो भी बहुत लंबा आज सेशन है, तो मैं अपने अगले पॉइंट सुनाने से पहले एक छोटी सी घटना अपने कॉलेज की सुनाऊंगा. मेंटर कैसे होते हैं, किन के पास जाए. The meeting was held in India International Center. It was a condolence meeting a couple of years ago about a professor who died at the age of 78. Name, Mr. Muhammad Amin. I emphasize Mr. Muhammad Amin. He was not a PhD. He was a mere MA. Taught in St. Stephen's College for nearly half a century. Became Vice Chancellor of one of the universities in Delhi. Thick of winter, close to midnight, 3 young men have found an excuse to go and knock at the door of Mr. Muhammad Amin's huge bungalow in St. Stephen's College, British-built bungalow. They are holding some paper, each one of them, in their hand. And when they knock at the door, nearly at midnight, Muhammad Amin emerges. क्या बात? Sir, tutorial. They're carrying tutorials in their hand, midnight. But they are looking inside. They are looking inside, not at Muhammad Amin's face. It's actually the real excuse is tutorials. But the real reason for coming is something different. Where else to go in a residential college at midnight to have Sikh kebab and steaming hot tea, which Mrs. Muhammad Amin's, that is Amin Saab's wife, will provide these young people. So the tutorial was only an excuse. Naturally, they are ushered into the front room and in a few minutes, steaming hot tea accompanied by kebabs, the best in the town, are served around midnight. Has it anything to do with admissions? Has it anything to do with the choice of your subject? But speaker after speaker on that day in the condolence meeting here said, the Chief Minister of the state in attendance, when Muhammad Amin spoke about Akbar, and I know even talking Akbar at times we have to be careful. Akbar came alive in the classroom. Yet, even at midnight, this mentor was available. Not necessarily to discuss the subject of which he is a specialist, but also to counsel these young people, provide them succor, and his wife, Guru Patni, duly serving them hot, steaming things. What is this caste system T.V. Ramakrishnan is mentioning? We have colleges, we have university departments, we have institutes. Colleges at times were rated lower than the universities. Institutes are supposed to cater to a particular area of research at the highest level. Is this good? Is a question he asks. He says, why this divide? Why this caste system? Many who are panelists today are from colleges of Delhi University. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest drawbacks of Delhi University, which held it back from attaining higher ranks, because most teachers, it's a very important point I'm going to make, most teachers in all colleges of Delhi University have come from the university system of Delhi largely. They have done extremely well academically. Most of them are first divisioners. They are good teachers. They are dedicated to their subject. So the first major point I want to make in my small presentation is colleges do not matter. What are you interested in? Which subject? Believe me, in almost all the colleges, I hope I am right when you reply to my remarks, make this again, whether I have made any mistake in this remark of mine. Most colleges, the subjects are taught almost at the same level. Evaluation is all centralized. And when we sit at centralized evaluation systems, centers, looking at the answer books of students, the examiners are not told in the strict sense of the term from which college this answer book has come. And I'm telling you, students from various colleges of Delhi University do extremely well. For the parents in the audience here, let me reassure you, please, in this season of admissions, take admission the first college you get or your child gets. Remove the tension, that pressure. Subsequently, if there is a better college, better subject, what's the harm in moving on? Yes, there are some small difficulties in doing so. They can be easily overcome. July 16th, we used to reopen on 16th of July in the past. Now it's sometimes postponed to 21st of July.
20th this year.
20th this year. First working day, I take my first lecture lasting nearly an hour, and I am not intending to do so now, so I will stop myself short. A young man walks up to me. Sir, brilliant lecture, sir. I said, thank you so much. Young man, to be able to appreciate this, you must be equally, if not more so, brilliant. Sir, I have a problem. What's your problem? Sir, can you counsel my parents? I said, bring them. So I arranged for a cup of tea. The parents came. If you want me to announce the name, I am prepared to do so. I'll hold the name back. The father naturally held a very important position in the city and came barging into my room as if it was his office room. Less than 30 seconds, I had to put him in place, give him a cup of tea, talk about his son. What is the problem between the father and the son? The son had got admission to Delhi College of Engineering, chemical engineering. The son was just not interested in taking up DCE. He said, I want to do natural sciences. Father thought, there is nothing in natural sciences, no scope. दिल्ली में पूछते ना, स्कोप क्या है, इसके बाद क्या मिलेगा, नौकरी मिलेगी, मेरा घर बसेगा, मेरी शादी होगी, मेरे बच्चे होंगे. People are so mortified about these things. So we talked and talked for an hour. The young man stayed. Moral of the story. Third year, he becomes a Rhodes Scholar. How many people in the audience know how a Rhodes Scholar is spelled? It's not R-O-A-D-S. I hope you know it's R-H-O-D-S. Finished PhD, is doing brilliant science. What was the role of this mentor? He spent money for arranging a cup of tea and some samosas, but made a Rhodes Scholar happen. Have you understood me? I can elaborate on the story much more, trying to be brief. Second incident, story नहीं है, घटना है, कहानी नहीं है. A senior came to me from Bihar. सर आपने तो हमारी आंखें खोल दी सर. क्या हुआ? हमारे घर वाले कहते हैं BA कर लिया ना, they don't know the difference between BA and B.Sc in some parts of the country. BA कर लिया ना, वापस आ जाओ, अब graduate हो गए हो. Believe me, this man went straight to Cambridge. From Cambridge he went to Harvard. But I did not call my young Nilesh Kumar on that day for discussing anything about his academics. I said, your junior is going to fall into the nearest ditch near the college. Send him to me in the evening today. If somebody asks me in private, I will give you the name. The young man came and he writes later in the college magazine, Dr. Eswaran blew hot and cold, his face was red and blue at the same time, but his wife fed us very well, the dinner was delicious. 1999, he left college. Thanks to this evening meeting of mine with a first year student as a mentor. 2005, this young man's name was mentioned in the Nobel lecture by his professor from MIT. What would have happened if I had not intervened? He would have got into all kinds of habits which college life offers or offered. The senior intervened. He was brilliant. And the life of a young man was made. A story on which more can be said when we meet in private. That means not only choice of a subject, choice of a college. This I say is very important. The pressures on the modern day young is so high. You're hearing about the problems in Kota, the suicides in Kota. Since yesterday we are reading about that very unfortunate situation with Mainak Sarkar. I'm sure most of you have read. At 38, he could not complete his PhD. A little humor is allowed early morning. I went to some house of a relation in Chennai, and this young friend of mine, just 7 years or 8 years old, came in from school She wouldn't talk to me unless she has changed her dress into her home dress. And then she came and asked her mother, Amma, Ivar Are, who is this gentleman with the grey hair? And the mother tried to explain that he's a scientist, he's a teacher. She was not very much impressed. So the mother tried to put a heavy weight to the whole thing, said, you know, he's Dr. Eswaran. So, Amma, doctor na ennadu? Then she said, Amma, doctor mane kya hota hai? She said, PhD hota hai. She said, pizza, home delivery. Now, what else can you believe a 7-year-old child coming from school being educated about PhD? But actually, many of us, when we joined PhD, even after doing our MSc, I don't think we were better informed. Today's young people are not like that. They know their mind. We need to guide them to the kind of interest that they must show. Yes, I would say every college should have sessions, maybe once a week, once a fortnight, where young people are with a chosen mentor or a set of mentors in colleges where they are able to discuss things in general. Not necessarily the subject. There may be a touch of philosophy, minus religion, more spirituality, which will give balance to the young people who are under such immense pressure. Yes, Delhi University has one more caste system. It has come back once again. Am I to join a B.Sc honors course or am I to join a B.Sc general course? In the past, there used to be a BA pass, became a BA program. This BA honors and B.Sc honors, I don't think exists except in a handful of universities in India. Delhi is one of them. And I'm going to conclude my current presentations. I'll come back with my points subsequently so that the other panelists have enough time. But this question of B.Sc honors, B.Sc divide is not a small one. In the past, anybody who did B.Sc honors easily got admission to the postgraduate class, MSc class. Today it's no longer so because there are a plethora of entrance examinations, including within the University of Delhi structure. Just that you have done a BA honors or a B.Sc honors course does not necessarily mean that you will automatically get admission to MSc. I have seen many students from good colleges of Delhi University who close to 70% marks in their B.Sc honors examinations. 50% seats for postgraduate admissions are reserved for B.Sc honors students from Delhi. 50% seats are based on the results of the entrance examinations. So many students from the B.Sc honors stream now are not able to make it to the postgraduate classes at Delhi University, this being a central university. Sciences, natural sciences, would naturally mean an aptitude for experimental work. There is some talk about the workload of teachers being reduced by half, so far as practicals are concerned now. Excuse me. But the real joy is doing experiments. If some child, some young student wants to join courses in B.Sc honors, physics, chemistry, even mathematics has a lab now, biology, botany, zoology, biotechnology, the student should have an aptitude for experimental work. Person should in fact enjoy the experimental work. Sometimes these lab experiments just don't last 4 hours. They can last even longer. Many young students join what you may say as some kind of projects at the undergraduate level which keeps them engaged throughout the year. That means even on weekends, Sundays and holidays included. My own subject, chemistry, is it an easy subject? I don't know, I want to ask the audience.
It's not considered easy.
It's not an easy subject at all. How do you last half a century in a subject like this? Having to do a lot of experimental work, not knowing whether you will get the results, not knowing whether you can combine mathematics, physics with the chosen subject of chemistry. A very new area has emerged, computational chemistry. So many softwares are available, so many softwares you can write, so many programs you can write. So it's not easy, but yet it is people who are interested in the subject who last longer. I thought I saw Rahul Dravid at Lord's being televised. The English Spectator was asked by Kishore Bhimani, what's happening? India were 33-2. And the English Spectator said, Rahul Dravid is pitching his tent for the day. Staying powers. Can you last? Are you in a hurry? That means staying power, stamina is very important. Let me give you an incident before I hand over the mic to my panelists about somebody unconnected to the natural sciences. Lives not very far from here, Sundarnagar. Gurcharan Das. कितने लोगों ने नाम सुना है? A great author. Great author. I heard his 3-hour talk. He's a great speaker. Successful bestseller. What is the first book he wrote? The Difficulty of Being Good. What did he tell us, the audience, on one day, a few years ago? He said from Mohali, Punjab, he went straight to Harvard from school. And naturally, like any other young boy in those days, took up a very attractive subject called chemical engineering. His interest at Harvard in chemical engineering did not last 3 months. So he switched to chemistry, my subject. And a few months later, he realized that was not his cup of tea. He tried other subjects, a range of them, including, for that matter, management. Yes, he studied, can you believe it, Sanskrit at Harvard. By that time, the neighbors in Punjab started asking his mother, "Twada munda ki padda hai ji Harvard vich? What is your son studying Harvard? Sometimes you tell us you are studying chemical engineering. Sometimes you say he is studying Sanskrit. Sometimes you say he is doing management. Then you tell me philosophy." You know what Gurcharan Das retired as? Anybody in the audience? He is CEO, Procter & Gamble. Give him a big hand here for the right answer. CEO, Procter & Gamble. But at 49, he knew that he got to the wrong place. 49, he resigned as CEO, Procter & Gamble, decided to become an author. At this stage, though I have much to say, I think I should necessarily stop so that you get a message. The message is, listen to your heart. What are you interested in? Parents, keep off. You may not know where your child is headed to. What are the innate capabilities? So let them grow in a very organic, in a very philosophical manner into areas of their own interest. Before I sign off, what has been my other joy? One joy has been that I could teach in a wonderful place. Of course, I had the experience of also managing a college which was south to the North College, in many senses of the term, was Principal Deshbandhu College. So nobody can deny that I have only handled people from very elite backgrounds. St. Stephen's is always called an elitist place, which is not necessarily true. Certainly not the science block, because our catchment areas are different. But I think, before I sign off, I must clearly point it out. What has been my great joy at St. Stephen's is, number one, that classes happened. Every teacher was under pressure to take classes. Administration did not interfere. It's a pressure generated from the fellow teachers, fellow faculty. There was no attendance in those days. Teachers didn't have to sign an attendance register. Second point, the quality of student intake was unbelievable. So you learned as much from the student interaction as from the books and the journals that you read. What's so great, this year's president of the College Union Society made a speech at the annual day. It's called the dismissal service. He said, sorry, I learned more, not in the classroom so much, but more outside college. The whole hall reverberated with laughter. He said, I'm so sorry. I meant I did not learn so much in the classroom as outside the classroom. So the question is, beyond the classroom interaction among young people. But no academic's life is complete unless you are available to your students round the clock. Yes, the pressure falls on the Guru Patni or the Guru spouse, as the case be. It's not always only men who are teaching in colleges. The Guru Patni or Guru spouse has to wake up and help the Guru to support and be able to be available to the students right round the clock. 365 into 24 into 7. No. It's one more area which I have missed out. And that's where, when the other panelists come in, I hope they will touch upon it. That you took up a profession because you were interested in it. You didn't want to get bogged down with administrative duties alone. Half a century, I've kept myself alive in my own subject. And I think the most wonderful things have happened to me in recent years. I want to give you just 3 titles. Talk to me over coffee, talk to me or write to me over email to discover more. What's my current area of work? Cataractogenesis. I use Ola and Uber cabs a lot. क्या है कैटरैक्टोजेनेसिस? मोतियाबिंद की उत्पत्ति. मोतियाबिंद शुरू कैसे होता है? You don't have to tell Ola and Uber cab drivers about protein interactions. Retinoblastoma, cancer of the eye in children between the age bracket 5 to 7. How to detect it at the earliest point? What's a new molecule I have made? What name have I given it? I'm not going to talk about it. Something spectacular. Viswamayin. Benzene, toluene, xylene, विश्वमयीन. हाँ, हमारा बनाया हुआ मॉलिक्यूल है, क्यों नहीं? सबसे अट्रैक्टिव मॉलिक्यूल है. इसके बनने की तरीका, इसका बनने का तरीका ही बहुत ही नॉवेल है, बहुत ही नया है. हाँ, क्या हम माइक्रो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सर्किट्स को प्रिंट कर सकते हैं एक कॉलेज में काम करते हुए? कहने का तात्पर्य यह है कि एक टीचर को जीवंत रहना है अपने सब्जेक्ट में, पूरे अपने कैरियर में. जो वो पढ़ें, जो वो पढ़ाएं, उसको करके दिखाएं. इस बातों को कहते हुए आई विल क्लोज ऑन माई inaugural comments as the panel now takes over. Sometime you will get to talk and ask questions yourself. Let me say this, that success story of a teacher is not to be measured only in terms of the papers he or she published, the books that he or she published, the classes, lectures he or she held. But I think what this particular organization is attempting to do, if I understand it right, MentorYes, are they available to the students? Necessarily only of their college? How can it happen? How can one access or limit access to students of a given college? as you grow older, you become available to students from everywhere. Recent years I've been lecturing in many places. This afternoon, for example, after this session, I help coordinate a youth forum at the Ramakrishna Mission. The session begins every Sunday throughout the year at 3 o'clock, finishes at about 4:45. All of you are welcome. So I think with these introductory remarks, if I have not held for too long, maybe open the panel discussion now with the panelists making their presentations. Would I ask, who would you prefer? Dr. Garg to my right or Hemalata? Who would like to start? Maybe Garg sir? He will, I'm sure if I hand over the mic to Dr. Garg, he will not be dreaming. He will be very factual and close to the facts.